You're watching The Morning Show on CKWS.
Good Tuesday morning to you, 7:51. Welcome back. I'm going to introduce you to a singer-songwriter from our region. Beatrice Keeler joins us, and an interesting story in that an Anglophone making it very far on a Quebec talent-based music show.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, I originally moved to Quebec for school. I'm in creative writing at Concordia, but I played music in Kingston for most of my life when I was living here. And they just reached out to me and said, have you ever thought about auditioning for the show? And I was like, I don't speak French, first of all, so I don't know if you're still interested. But they were like, yeah, for sure, just come and audition. So they gave me an audition time, and I went and made it through to the blind audition, and had to do that in French, which I've never sang a song in French before, so that was kind of...
So obviously it was a French song.
Yes.
Wow.
And then everything is in French. The directions they give you backstage, it's all in French. All your interviews aren't... It's obviously it's a French show, so...
So how did you end up doing that? You say you don't speak French,
No.
but you had to learn quick.
Yeah, well, I took a sort of semi-intensive class at the YMCA the month before to just try to get some bearings.
Wow.
And then, just kind of faked it. Eventually kind of realized oh, this word means when he's pointing this way that I'm supposed to go this way. And yeah, eventually just kind of figured it out along the way.
And you went very far. Did you know what you were singing with the lyrics?
It definitely helped. Google Translate was a very good friend of mine throughout that whole process.
Because you got to feel it. You got to feel those words.
Yeah, but for you get to kind of choose some songs that you want to pick, and then they sort of pick one for you. So originally when I needed to decide, I just picked English songs that were translated in French. So I did Beyond the Sea, but it's called La Mer in French. So I knew the melody already.
Right.
So I tried to pick things like that where I wasn't going in totally blind. I kind of already had an idea of the melody at least.
Well, let's take a look at a little bit of Beatrice Keeler in action.
Whether I run, whether I run or whether I stay, whether I run, whether I run or whether I stay, and I know your way.
Well, this experience with the TV show was a little while ago, but you moved on. You now have a new album, Bygone, came out recently. You have a quality, the guitar playing, I don't know, it's obviously not the voice, but Robert Smith comes to mind. And I think it might be the melodies, I think it might be sort of the sound of the guitar as well.
Cool.
Well, where do you draw your inspirations from?
Kind of all over the place. I grew up playing in punk bands and alternative bands, but now
Which is a 180 from the sweet quality presentation of your voice.
yeah, because I also if I'm on the metro, I'm definitely listening to Chet Baker and jazz and whatever, and so it's kind of all over the place. A lot of the time I could just be I always make the joke that sometimes when I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, there'll just be one note, and I'm oh, okay, and I pause it, and then that note becomes a full song. I don't know if I have necessarily one thing that I can pinpoint.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, there'll be something that clicks in my brain, and I'm oh, okay, this is going to be a song now, I guess, and I'll sit there for a couple hours, and yeah.
Which is not a bad thing at all.
No, I'm lucky that it comes easily in that sense, because there's other things like math or real practical life things that are not so easily for me to grasp.
One of the things I want to talk about Quebec again is it's such an interesting culture in that, a band or a music artist can go platinum in Quebec and no one in Canada has ever heard of them. They really embrace their own.
Yeah, and I was really lucky in that sense, because had I not done something like La Voix, I don't know if there would have been, because there are two markets. There is an Anglophone market there, but it really isn't this mainstream kind of success story in terms of how if you're Eric Lapointe or Marc Dupré, which were two judges on La Voix, they really are just at kind of the forefront of this movement that's happening in the Francophone culture in Quebec. And so something like La Voix for me, being an Anglo, really I think was one of the only ways I could have put my foot into my foot in the door in terms of being taken seriously. But I was very lucky in the sense that I think they were happy with how hard I tried, even to my detriment. But
that's all you can do is try, and they appreciate that.
That's the thing, because
Yeah.
you know, they really love people coming in and just like embracing their culture rather than people coming in and I think trying to take theirs away. Like, yeah, it was more so, okay, an Anglophone is coming here and wants to learn French and wants to be a part of our culture, and yeah, I think they really were happy about that.
Well, I'm a fan of the voice. I'm a fan of the melodies. Love the music.
Thank you so
Once again,
much.
we'll introduce you to Beatrice Keeler. The album is called Bygone. Came out in September. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we're going to keep an eye out for you. Stay with us. The morning show continues. We're wishing you a fantastic morning. We'll see you after the break.